So I've noticed that a lot of people who do these videos about Descendants of Zombies for you guys never really have the Descendants of Zombies posters on display for you. And I've always known how much that means to all of you, how the videos are brought to life. So I've always wanted to incorporate something special into my videos. And I just want to let you know that over time you guys will see Descendants of Zombies posters as a part of my backdrop because I've always wanted to have them for you guys. I've never really cared about the prices of the posters. They are very high up there in price. But the sentimental value of those posters means so much to so many wonderful people, and I've always wanted to have them on display for you guys, so they are coming with time. That will happen. The Descendants of Zombies merch needs to be made more accessible to you guys. I'm not going to criticize the Descendants of Zombies merch because I think it's quite lovely. I've always thought it was really beautiful. But the Descendants of Zombies merch needs to be made more accessible and more affordable to you guys, and I always promised myself that if I ever became a creative writer or director behind the Descendants of Zombies projects, I was going to make this merch more affordable and both accessible to all of you because you guys have made a lot of sacrifices to be a part of events like the Worlds Collide Tour because it meant so much to your hearts. And your parents made so many sacrifices for you guys. It was truly unbelievable hearing your stories about how you guys attended the Worlds Collide Tour after having made great sacrifices. I know the stars have made a lot of sacrifices too. They've gone on diets. They've picked up fitness regimes. There's a lot of pressure that comes with being a Descendants of Zombies star, and I always wanted to take that away from them, and I always wanted to make this more of an enjoyable experience. So if you guys could give me like 50,000 likes and 50,000 subscribers, I know that's a lot to ask, but that will put me one step closer to becoming a part of this Descendants of Zombies project, and I'll see what I can do for you guys. Because I know how much Freya Sky has been to all of you. She is an unbelievably stronger person because of all of you. I know how much the friendship between Malachi Burton and Freya Sky and such things have meant to you, and I've always wanted to bring these franchises to life because these moments really mean a lot to everybody who have had the chance to be a part of them and truly experience events like the Worlds Collide Tour. I know the first half of the Worlds Collide Tour was blown out of the water because of how highly you guys thought of people like Freya and Malachi, and I thought that was really lovely. That was something to be admired. So oftentimes I would just sit back and I would be marveled. I would be so admired and inspired, be left so inspired by people like Freya and Malachi who were there for each other every step of the way. And I often remembered wanting to say something nice about them because they were so beautiful, they were forever strong, and they felt so strongly about each other. And then you wonder why somebody has a post about Freya and Malachi all the time on their social accounts. It's because they themselves feel inspired about this beautiful friendship because of how strongly they feel about each other. And I think that, you know, from being a part of generations like the Disney Renaissance era and even generations of the past that were prided by Hannah Montana and Wizards of Waverly Place, we never saw that same kind of friendships with Emily Osmond and Miley Cyrus. We were a long way away from ever seeing that. And then when we finally had the chance to see such friendships, such beautiful things like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson's friendship and the friendship between Malia Baker and Kylie Cantrell, we were very fond of that. A lot of us became very fond of the friendships that we saw from Descendants of Zombies, and we never wanted to let go of those friendships because these moments are moments that don't really happen that often. And I think that if we're going to talk about these moments, we should talk about them with a whole lot of heart and a whole lot of dedication. There are a lot of reasons why this YouTube channel has become everybody's favorite. It's because of how I could tell this story. It's about how I believed in this story more than anybody. And if I was going to say anything at all about your favorite stars, it was going to have to be something nice, because the one thing I noticed about them were they were incredibly supportive of each other. They were there for each other every step of the way. And that's what made this entire experience for me so worth it as a YouTuber, because I could bring these videos to life, because that's all I ever wanted to do. This YouTube channel is a long way away from monetization. I've still got a long way to go. But I've never really cared about this YouTube channel ever becoming monetized, because this YouTube channel has always been about you. And I've always put my heart into these videos because I've known how much Descendants of Zombies has meant to all of you. I want you guys to take one thing away from every video that I've ever recorded, if you ever take anything away from what I've said about Descendants of Zombies. I am here because of you. And I am here for you, and this YouTube channel was created for you, because you love Descendants of Zombies with all of your heart. Now, I know there are 50 million people out there who love Descendants of Zombies, and one fan, you know, to a lot of people is not really going to make a whole lot of difference. But I know from personal experiences that I've had through creating this YouTube channel that I have some of the most dedicated fans who have ever loved Descendants of Zombies for whatever reasons they've loved it with all of their heart. You guys have bled for Descendants of Zombies. So because you bled for Descendants of Zombies, you guys have deserved nothing but the best, and you've deserved a dedicated voice for far long enough to dedicate his life to uploading Descendants of Zombies videos just as you have dedicated all of your lives to Descendants of Zombies. I've had no time for the criticism directed towards Clarke. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there who feel very differently about Clarke's point of view and how she feels about life and such things as men because of her relationships not really turning out the way that she always wanted them to. The thing is, Clarke is just like all of us. She is created equal, and she's trying to leave an everlasting impression and leave behind a legacy. So I think we can find time in appreciating that. You know, people are coming up with all these ridiculous excuses as to why people like Kylie and Freya have backed out of the Worlds Collide Tour, but think about it for a moment. If you were as popular as Clarke and Freya Sky and had gotten to that level, and you were getting so many opportunities from different record labels like Clarke recently had from Republic Records, which she's so proud of, she's putting that on display on all her social media, and she has a right to do that. If they have other aspirations in life to pursue and other goals and dreams to have happen for them, I think we can find time in appreciating that. On Freya's side of the coin, she has the Stars Align World Tour Leg 2 happening all throughout the remainder of 2026. It will happen up until the end of the year. We have Kylie coming out with a new single called Carrie Bradshaw. They shot the music video for this past Friday, and there were a lot of photos of herself and a lot of her fans who were out there for the shooting of the music video, so supportive of Kylie. And that's the one thing that I've noticed about these stars is they have an incredible amount of love and support. I could only wish or ever dream that I would have that much love and support from fans of Descendants of Zombies. I've got a lot of support, but I could have even more. It truly blows my mind how people are so supportive of who and what they love. Don't ever let anybody sell you shy of your dreams and your hopes and your goals, because you only ever have one life to live, and you guys are some of the specialist people that I've ever seen in my life. You guys have never quit on me. You're never going to quit on me, obviously, and you're always going to subscribe here. So I've always believed that if you are going to subscribe here all the time, then I should give you really good reviews. I should never go out of my way to say something critical about Freya, critical about Kylie, because they've heard enough of it. And they've had to put up with so much, and I wanted to take that away. They are under a considerable amount of pressure. Pressure is always riding with them on their shoulders, and the one thing that I always wanted to do is be a part of these conversations and be really kind, really sweet towards the stars that you guys love so much, because if you do that, somewhere, somehow, you're going to touch the heart of somebody out there who's going to say, you know, this guy is really cool. He's really down to earth. He understands how I feel about my favorite stars, why I have my room plastered with Descendants of Zombies posters, why I've collected all the dolls, why I proudly have them on display, why I try, even though I probably can't, why I try to draw my favorite Descendants of Zombies characters, or I color them in a coloring book, which is really beautiful. I've seen some of your guys' drawings on social media. It is really beautiful. And all I've ever wanted you guys to do is to continue to follow your passions. Because when you continue to follow your passions, some of the most unbelievable things will happen for you. How do you think Clarke ended up being a part of franchises like High School Musical and Descendants? It was because she believed in herself, and I, in turn, was somebody who believed in her just like all of you. All I ever wanted to do was be a part of your guys' journey, and to be somebody that you would meet along the way and kind of, you know, be related to. Because the thing is, when you post relatable content, you have to resonate with people. And I know for a lot of people that's very difficult to do. But if you can tell people that your favorite Freya Sky song is Silent Treatment, or The Person I Thought I Knew, and you can tell a story about a relationship you may have been involved with, or a circumstance with one of your friends that relates or reminds you to that song, brings you back to that music, that's what makes it so worth it. And I think a lot of people can't do that for some reason. They just say, okay, the special effects for the music video were great. The outfits that Freya Sky chose to wear in several music videos were wonderful. It's often the same thing repeated over and over again. But if you can share a relatable experience with a fan of Freya much like yourself, then that's what brings you that much closer together. Now I know I've been commentating on different niches for a very long time. Twilight, SpongeBob SquarePants, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, professional wrestling, Frozen. Hey Jonathan Clarke, you want to keep going? I've been a part of a lot of different things, and I've offered a lot to everything that I've ever been a part of. But I can never remember having so much fun bringing such things as Descendants of Zombies to life for all of you. These franchises need to be made more accessible for people who want to experience them. People need to say more nice things about them and give you great reviews that you can feel confident in watching. And that's the one thing that I've always prided myself on doing, is being a dedicated voice for all of you and always being here, promising you after having promised you so many wonderful videos about Descendants of Zombies. If it was the last thing that I was going to do, it was going to say something nice about Quality Control. It was going to have to be something nice about Freya Sky, because I remember seeing special things about them. They had character traits that they applied to characters like Nova Bright and Addison Wells, and they were able to bring them to life, and that's what made the story so relatable to a lot of people about how a zombie may have been struggling to find acceptance in this lifetime, but they found each other. And that was the most beautiful thing about it. While a friendship was kind of dawning for Red and Chloe, a friendship that we never imagined possible for the Descendants franchises, but it happened because so many wonderful people, much like myself, saw something special in these stories and these franchises. We still have a long way to go, and we still have so many unbelievable characters that are going to see their introductions into these franchises, and we can find time in appreciating their introductions. We can find time in appreciating their stories because we still have a long way to go. This story is far from over, and I think people like Keanu Romero and Liamani Segura are going to offer a lot to these franchises. The music is going to get better. The story is going to go more in depth and go deeper than ever before and go places that we never imagined that Descendants was ever going to go. And again, we can find time in encouraging that. We can come out on the other side of the spectrum stronger for how we've related to so many wonderful people through our passion of Descendants of Zombies, which is very different from another fan. Everybody's passion about Descendants of Zombies varies. Everybody's passion is different. But that's what makes life so beautiful, is that everybody feels differently about a franchise. Nobody ever feels the same. You know, I never really experienced that being a part of such eras as the Renaissance era or the early thousands, because that was when Disney was really coming into its own and they were creating some of the biggest and some of the greatest stars. They are a defining legacy, your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars are, and that deserves to be appreciated, and I've just felt so honored to be a part of this with all of you. If there was one thing that I could go back in time, if I were, say, in possession of a pocket watch and experience all over again, it would have to be falling in love with Descendants of Zombies, because I found time in appreciating and noticing and reviewing the friendship of Quality Control and Malia Baker in the right way, the way it was meant to be talked about for you guys, to give you hope, to give you a second chance in believing in Descendants of Zombies, because maybe the first time that you saw it, you never really gave it that much of a chance. You couldn't make sense of it because of how people were talking about it, and, you know, nothing really ever added up. But now, finally, somebody actually makes sense when he talks about Descendants of Zombies, and that's what makes these videos so relatable and so fun for so many wonderful people, to get you kind of excited for Descendants 5 with Wonderland, to give you hope for Zombies 5, because I know there's still a lot of doubt in people's minds of what actually could be inside of this vortex. And trust me, if I could jump inside of this vortex for all of you just to come back and tell you what I found out about it, I would do it. I think there's something about putting smiles on people's faces while giving them hope and giving them a chance to believe in something so special, and I've felt more than honored to be a part of this with so many wonderful people. Thank you guys so much for having chosen this YouTube channel every single time as obviously your favorite, what has become your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, because I've had so much fun recording and producing these videos for you. These are conversations I look forward to having, because if there was one thing I could offer you, it would be hope and a prediction of sorts for Descendants of Zombies to give us something special to believe in and hold on to. Because we still have a long way to go. We're still on this incredible journey that has never had to be over. And I felt more than honored to have been a part of this and to have experienced this with so many wonderful people. People I'd never imagined would have ever subscribed here. So from my heart to yours, thank you so much for having chosen this YouTube channel time and time again as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. And please, Keep on loving Descendants of Zombies with all of your heart. If you do one thing for me or take anything away from any of my videos, please keep on loving Descendants of Zombies with all of your heart, because they need as much love and support as they possibly can get, because you are what makes Descendants of Zombies so special, and you are what's made this whole experience for me a really life-changing experience, if anything, so unforgettable for me. And I want you to know that I will never forget any of you for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, because I had the chance to be a part of something so special with all of you, and I got the chance to experience that because you guys saw something special in me, a guy who kind of came from out of nowhere and promised you that he was going to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies for the rest of his life. And while that may seem like a long time for a lot of people, I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you so much for always having a special place in your heart for me and all of these videos, and thank you so much for believing in Descendants of Zombies most of all with all of your heart, because you are what makes Descendants of Zombies so special, and don't you ever forget that. Thank you so much for loving this YouTube channel with all of your heart, and as always, thank you so much for having watched these videos.